Welcome to Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's game one of a three-game weekend series between the Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, today the Red Sox take on a Tampa Bay Rays team. They're tops in the American League East, a game and a half better than the Yankees, 9 games ahead of the Red Sox. And, Jerry, the question is, how are they doing it?
Well, they're doing it with their pitching. I mean, there's no question about that. They are the surprise team for me in the American League East, along with the Astros in the American League. But do you see what they've done so far this year offensively? Not very much. Only a 244 team batting average. That's 11th best in the American League. The runs scored 13th best. But look at the pitching. The team ERA of 3.27. Now, they've been involved in a lot of close games. 33 saves on the season. That's the most in the American League. And opponents are only been hitting 232 against Tampa Bay. Now, the amazing thing to me, Don, is the fact they've done it with young players. They've had an awful lot of injuries this year. They've got young players in the starting rotation, young players on the field. They have been a big surprise to me.
You're talking about young players. One of them, Alex Colomé, who's on the mound tonight for Tampa Bay. Colomé, so far this season, comes in at 3-3 with a 4.50 earned run average, 12th start of the year. Beat the Red Sox back on May 6th at Fenway Park. Meanwhile, Rick Porcello trying to turn it around. He has lost 6 games in a row, but is 4-3 with a 2.80 ERA in his career against Tampa Bay. We're back at the Trop with more right after this. Experience the new Audi A3 today. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of your Boston Red Sox. Nissan, get to Nissan's ride of your life for exciting performance and bonus cash. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service, thank you New England for 60 great years. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Welcome back to Tropicana Field as we get ready for Game 1 of the 3-game series. Welcome inside the broadcast booth once again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, lately the Red Sox have had some nagging injuries. They were fortunate last week to get Pablo Sandoval back and Blake Swihart. Now, more recently, Dustin Pedroia goes on the DL. And, of course, Hanley Ramirez still not back for the Red Sox after injuring his hand on this line drive back at Fenway Park as part of the last homestand, getting him on the hand. And very fortunate he did not fracture that hand, but still out of the Red Sox lineup. Let's get the very latest on Hanley Ramirez from Garrett Austin.
Thanks, John. Like you said, Hanley Ramirez still out of the lineup. Earlier today, manager John Farrell said his hand is feeling better, but he is still day-to-day.
Improved today. He's still not at the point of putting a bat in his hand to begin any swinging, but still day-to-day. Whether it starts with dry swings to tee work to soft toss, the normal build-up, and then to see how he comes through a full BP session.
It's the Red Sox and it's the Rays, and it's next on NESN. Game 1 is coming your way. Pittsburgh, Florida. It's game one of the three-game series as the Tampa Bay Rays taking the field here tonight. Look at the standings as Kevin Cash's team on top of the American League East. They are a game and a half better than the New York Yankees and 9 games better than the Red Sox. As the AL East kind of bunched up right now, the Orioles and Blue Jays within striking distance, and the Red Sox starting tonight 10 games under 500 as they begin this road trip. It'll be exclusively in the American League East, first here in Tampa Bay and then up to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. Let's check out the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. Mookie Betts leading it off in center field with Brock Holt at second base. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop, bats third with David Ortiz, the DH. Pablo Sandoval at third base. Mike Napoli back at first base, batting sixth. Alejandro De Aza in left field with Blake Swihart doing the catching, batting eighth. And Jackie Bradley Jr. getting his second start in a row in right field. The Rays starting pitcher presented by New England Nissan dealers. Alex Colomé, 3-3 with a 4.50 earned run average. Been up and down to Durham this year. 39 strikeouts to 18 walks. And opponents hitting at 282 against Colomé. Sunday against Cleveland ended up with a no decision, but pitched great. 7 shutout innings, walking 2 and striking out 4 in that no decision.
Now the Rays defense is brought to you by DraftKings, and they are 4th in the league with 36 errors in 74 games. Evan Longoria will be at third base as Trubel Cabrera, the shortstop. Logan Forsythe at second. Mark Crouch, the first baseman. Left to right, David DeJesus, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. Kurt Casale doing the catching for Colomé.
Well, tonight's umpires are brought to you by Buick. Experience the new Buick lineup during this year's Sign and Drive. See your local Buick dealer today. Brian Gorman has the plate. He's the crew chief with Adam Hamari at first base, Trip Gibson at second base, and Mark Carlson, the umpire, at third. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. SAP is presented by Diplomatico Rum. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Well, the Red Sox are doing their acquaintance with the Tampa Bay Rays here tonight, and it is Mookie Betts about to lead it off for the Red Sox here in the top of the first inning. Mookie standing in, hitting at 276 on the year as Colomé toes the rubber. Working tonight with Kurt Casale. And the first pitch of the ball game is in there for strike one, and we're underway. Mentioned the 276 average for Betts, 8 homers, 34 runs batted in. And that'll dip down low. A ball and a strike to Mookie Betts.
Second time this year the Red Sox have faced Colomé. He got a win at Boston against the Red Sox. 5 innings in that game, 2 earned runs given up.
There's a pop-up foul off to the right up by the catwalks and foul back into the seats.
That's interesting. He's a guy that missed the spring training because of pneumonia. He was in the hospital for a long time. And then you see the breakdown in his pitches. Rated one of the best fastballs in the minor leagues for the Rays.
This guy who takes a long time in between pitches, averages 28.5 seconds between pitches. Swing and a miss by Betts, and he strikes out to begin the ball game.
A couple of sliders to Mookie Betts, and that at bat. We saw that he throws mostly fastballs, but to Betts, a couple of breaking balls you can see off the outside part of the plate, and gets Mookie to chase it.
One down here in the first inning, and it brings up Brock Holt. Another start at second base. John Farrell saying yesterday he would get the lion's share of starts at second base in the absence of Dustin Pedroia, who is on the DL. As Brock takes a pitch up high for ball one. Holt was 0 for 12 in the series against the Baltimore Orioles in the homestand. Strike over the outside corner. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. 1-1 pitch to Holt. Is going to miss for ball 2.
Interesting. They get the first baseman Krause right on the line, down that first base line, playing Brock Holt to pull in the infield. It's almost like a prevent defense trying to prevent a double.
Strike called as Holt was getting the arms out of the way, and it grabs that inside corner.
Now with 2 strikes, they've got to put a shift on Brock Holt as they move Longoria to the right side. So now they got 3 guys on the right side of the infield. There's a slider that picks up the inside corner.
Outside for ball 3. Full count now to Holt. On deck, Xander Bogaerts batting 3rd again for the Red Sox. Boston batting here in the top of the first inning against Alex Colomé. Payoff pitch. And Holt will take ball 4 down to first base with a 1-out walk.
That's a good way for Holt to get things turned around. He had been 0 for 12 prior to that at bat. Draws the walk, and the Red Sox have their first base runner of the night.
1 out, 1 on here for Xander Bogaerts. Xander at .294, 3 homers and 31 runs batted in. Bogaerts in the last 23 games since May the 31st, hitting at .348. He'll take strike 1 from Colomé.
That last fastball at 94 miles an hour, down and in to Xander Bogaerts. So we've seen the fastball, we've seen the slider. No changeups yet.
Brock Holt held on by Mark Krause at first base. Just acquired from the Angels for Tampa Bay. Krause in the lineup tonight at first base. That'll bounce in, and Casali able to block it. No advance for Brock Holt at first base. Krause, 27 years of age, acquired from the Angels yesterday in exchange for right-handed minor league pitcher Kyle Winkler. And Franklin was optioned to AAA Durham to make room for Krause on the major league roster. Bogaerts will take the strike. He is stunned to find that out. Turns around and very surprised. 1-2.
Again, you know, to me it looks like a slider. They're calling it a cutter, but it's got a bigger break than a cutter, but it picks up the outside corner.
Bogaerts will pop it up, foul ground. Krause headed over towards the seats and will make the catch right by the dugout. In his new home ballpark, had to get around Arnie Baylor first to get over there, and he gets over to make the grab on Bogaerts. 2 down.
As you mentioned, Krause just getting over here to Tampa Bay, not that familiar with this ballpark, but right in front of the camera, well, able to make the catch.
And 2 down, Holt at first, and here's Big Papi David Ortiz. 229 to start the night with 11 home runs, 33 runs batted in. And Ortiz will take ball 1. David 0 for 4 yesterday, snapping a streak of 15 consecutive starts in which he had reached base via hit or a walk. He's always enjoyed hitting here at Tropicana Field. Just 1 for 12 in the series against Baltimore at home. And he'll take the strike as it evens at 1-1.
Yeah, actually 2 places on this road trip where David really enjoys, here in Tampa Bay and of course Toronto, where he's always had great success.
Brock Holt with a pretty short lead at first base, held on by Krause. In the dirt and blocked again by Casali. Ortiz has more doubles, 60 of them, against Tampa Bay than any other player in history. That's here the shift on, and a short lead at first base for Brock Holt with 2 down here in the inning. Outside for ball 3.
Well, last time we were here in April, hit number 469 in his career. And that passed Chipper Jones on the all-time list. Of course, he's added to that since that time, but that's a home run the last time we were here in St. Pete.
3-1 pitch. And that is going to be outside. Another walk here in the inning, 2 allowed by Colomé in this first inning. So 2 on and 2 down with Pablo Sandoval coming up. Kevin Cash's first place Tampa Bay Rays with 41 wins on the year. They're 41 and 33. But at home they come into this ball game tonight with a 20 and 21 mark, a game under 500. But they played great on the road, 21 and 12 away from Tropicana Field.
You know, I haven't gone through my voicemails yet today, but I thought, I wonder if they're Orioles.
Ball 1 to Sandoval. The Celebrity Cruises, the official cruise line of the Red Sox. Join Red Sox legends Louis Tiant, Jim Rice, Steve Lyons, and more on January 9th as they sail the Caribbean on Celebrity's 2016 Red Sox fan cruise. Space is limited. Call 1-888-727-4907 or contact your travel agent today. Red Sox trying to make Colomé pay for 2 walks in the first inning. 2 on, 2 down, and Sandoval ahead in the count, 1-0.
Oh, was that tomorrow or was that Sunday? No, yeah. Tomorrow. No,
Popped up. Looks like he's going to get out of it. Evan Longoria into foul ground. Will make the catch that ends the inning. Colomé works his way around 2 base on balls. The Rays are coming up. Inning back here at Tropicana Field as the Rays starting lineup brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Now it is Kevin Kiermaier leading it off in center field with Joey Butler having a great first season. The DH bat second. Evan Longoria at third base. David DeJesus in left with Logan Forsythe at second base. Steven Souza Jr. in right as Drupal Cabrera at short. Mark Krause at first base and Kurt Casale does the catching. Kevin Kiermaier standing in and trying to bunt his way on. Pops it up foul up over the screen back into the seats. Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your local New England Audi dealers. Porcello making his 15th start of the year. 4-8 with a 5.61 earned run average. Has lost 6 straight. 279 opponent batting average. Kiermaier will take a pitch inside. Career against Tampa Bay, 8 starts, 4-3 with a good 2.80 earned run average. Opponent sitting at 239 against Porcello. Jumps ahead there with Kiermaier, 1-2.
Yeah, to add to that, Don, he's 1-0 this season against Tampa Bay. 7 innings, 8 hits, no runs allowed in that ball game.
Kiermaier with a 5-game hitting streak coming into tonight's game. Takes a fastball, missing. Ball 2, 2-2. Now appeared in a total of 71 games, 59 starts of the 75 that Tampa Bay has played. Shoots it foul. We'll do it again, 2-2.
I'll say one thing about Kiermaier. If you're an outfielder, you've got to be very, very careful with him because he hustles all the time. He will try to stretch singles into doubles, so you've got to be ready to get that ball on a second base very quickly.
Chops this one back towards the mound. Porcello's going to let Swihart grab at it. He never touched it and it went foul. So a foul ball. Swiped at it. Fortunately, didn't make contact.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 9th in the American League with 44 errors on the season. Pablo Sandoval at third base, Xander Bogaerts the shortstop, Brock Holt at second, Mike Napoli the first baseman, left to right, Alejandro De Aza, Mookie Betts, and Jackie Bradley Jr. Blake Swihart doing the catching for Porcello. You see right there Swihart trying to grab it, but it's a good thing he didn't because he would have had no play at first base and it rolls foul.
Now Kiermaier will strike out looking. He knew it. Takes with him the first strikeout of the night for Rick Porcello.
That's a good sinking 2-seam fastball right there by Porcello. He starts it off inside, comes back to pick up the corner. A pitch that Kiermaier gives up on, but you'll see the late movement coming back. And those are pitches right there from Porcello you'd like to see more of.
One down and brings up Joey Butler as Porcello settles into this outing. Butler will take ball 1. Leading batting average among rookies, hitting at 327 coming in, 6 homers and 20 runs batted in. He's called up on May the 3rd. Right now overall in the American League he ranks 5th in the AL, the 327 average, leading all rookies in average on base percentage, slugging, doubles, extra base hits, you name it, he's got it pretty much across the board offensively. So look at the arsenal for Rick Porcello. In the dirt for ball 3, 3-0. Butler's played down 46 games, 41 starts, 30 as a DH, 10 in left field. As he will take ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk has Butler on with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. The Red Sox suites and premium packages provide a VIP experience for you and your guests. Call 877-RED-SOX-9 or email premiumsales@redsox.com for more information.
Yeah, we talked about this offense for the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's not that strong, but one thing they will do is run. They're 2nd in the league in stolen bases.
Joey Butler gains his lead at first base as Evan Longoria deep in the box on the right side. We'll take ball 1. That is 5 straight balls now thrown by Porcello.
If he's missing down there, that's okay. When he misses high in the zone, that's not a good sign. Last pitch for Porcello down at the bottom, just below the strike zone, but you'd rather miss there if you're him than up high.
1 out, 1 on. Evan Longoria waiting on a 1-0 pitch. And that'll miss downstairs again. 2-0. Porcello last time out, 5 innings, giving up 8 hits and 6 runs at Kansas City against the Royals. Third time in his career that he had lost 6 games in a row. Here's a ground ball to second. Could be 2. Holt to second for 1. On to first for 2. Double play that wraps up this first inning. Head to the second without a score from St. Pete. Team is the biggest surprise this season. Text 1 for Astros, text 2 for Rays. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. One message per vote. Visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions, as well as privacy policy. Second inning back at Tropicana Field. Mike Napoli leading it off, and like yesterday, pretty aggressive swinging at that first pitch.
Yeah, I think there's a different approach right now by Napoli. He's been behind in the count so much, and they've been pitching him away so much that we've recently seen him swing at quite a few first pitches, trying not to get down in the count.
Takes the 0-1, and that is outside. A ball and a strike. Colome walked 2 in the first inning, walking Brock Holt and David Ortiz, but got out of it, getting Pablo Sandoval to pop out to Evan Longoria, foul ground to end last inning. Colome, who has yielded multiple walks in each of his last 7 starts. 2 walks last time out, had 2 walks in the first inning tonight. He may have gone. They check. No, says Adam Hamari, first base umpire.
Yeah, it's interesting because the most walks he's had in a game so far this year is 3. He's done that a couple of times, and as you mentioned, on only 2 already in this game tonight in the first inning.
3-1 to Napoli. And Michael takes strike 2. Went down the middle at 94 as it turned out. Napoli leading it off with Alejandro De Aza on deck, and then Blake Swihart. 6, 7, and 8 for the Red Sox in the inning. Napoli stays alive and fouls it back to the screen. He'll see his 7th pitch in this at bat.
That's the case there again where they go to the outside corner with the fastball, but that time Napoli able to foul it off. Playing very deep in the outfield all the way around for Napoli. And the shift in the infield.
Napoli fouls off another. Ooh, that was too close to take. Napoli yesterday snapping an 0 for 14 stretch. Reached base in each of his first 3 appearances yesterday. Double, single, and then got hit by a pitch in the finale of the series against the Orioles. Now he takes ball 4, and there's the 3rd walk allowed by Colomé tonight, and leads off the 2nd with 1.
Now this is something the Red Sox are going to have to take advantage of. You mentioned the walks, and a lot of them early in this ball game, so going to try to do some damage while he's a little bit wild.
Ace Ticket has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway, all the 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games, including the Yankees. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Napoli at first base. Nobody out here in the 2nd inning, and here's Alejandro De Aza. He'll take strike 1. 232 coming into this ball game tonight for De Aza. 4 homers and 15 runs batted in as combined numbers between Baltimore and Boston. Swing and a miss, and De Aza down 0-2.
That cut fastball again, and it registers anywhere from 84 to 87 miles an hour. And the straight fastball up about 94 miles an hour. So quite a difference in the straight fastball and the cut fastball.
De Aza yesterday with a 3-run home run. His 4th home run of the year. Takes the 0-2 for ball 1. Ended up going 2 for 6 in the series against the Orioles. So far hitting at .262 against right-handed pitching. All of his home runs off right-handers. And he sends one out towards left center. Kiermaier at good speed. He's going to lay it out, not get it. He's going to get by him. Roll to the track of the wall. Napoli from first base going to try and score. Throw is cut off in short left, and the Red Sox will take a 1-0 lead. Alejandro De Aza with a double. Kiermaier laying it out, can't catch it. It gets by him, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead.
We told you about Kiermaier earlier. I mean, he's an all-or-nothing player. He just goes hard all the time, and I kind of felt like he was going to back off this one a little bit and play it just for a single. Instead, he dives, it gets by him, and that gives the Red Sox a run. Tracked down by DeJesus after that, and by that time Napoli coming around to score, and De Aza into second base with a double.
So 1-0 Red Sox lead. De Aza at second base, and here's Blake Swihart. Swihart returning to the lineup for the Red Sox yesterday. Was 2 for 4 with an RBI after he missed the Red Sox previous 3 games with the foot injury that had occurred in Kansas City against the Royals. Sits safely now in 18 of his last 22 starts. Little check swing foul to the screen that evens a count of 1-1.
A lot of shifting going on early. They get the shift put on Swihart with the man at second base. As Drew Cabrera not that far from second base trying to hold on De Aza.
Fouled off again. That one getting a piece of the catcher, Kurt Casale, and it's 1-2.
Look like maybe off the fingers. We'll see. No, it looks like the knee.
Swihart into the shift on the right side. Forsythe will throw him out, but taking third base is De Aza. And Swihart grounds out 4-3, one down in the inning.
And a good job by Swihart. Hits the ball hard, pulls it, gets the man to third base with less than 2 outs. So Swihart, who came into the game 6 for his last 10, has a very good first at bat, even though he made it out. Pulling that ball hard to the second baseman. That's going to get De Aza to third base. And in that case, the shift does pay off against Swihart.
Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, making a visit to the mound here to talk to Colomé with one out here in the second inning. And Swihart getting the runner along to third, and De Aza. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. One out, Alejandro De Aza at third base, and here's Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 for 15 this year in the big leagues with the Red Sox. Third stint of the year with Boston. Infield in all the way around as he swings and misses for strike one.
A change up that time on the first pitch, expecting Bradley to be aggressive. He pulls the string on him.
Strike two.
That ball's not even close to being a strike. Instead of 1-1, now he's finding himself no balls and 2 strikes with a man at third base.
A little bit low for a ball. It's now 40 pitches for Colomé and an inning into third. Walk 2 in the first. Walked the leadoff man here in the second, but this one was costly. Napoli came around to score. Going to go back outside again with a 1-2 pitch. And it's a fly ball to left field. DeJesus back there will make the catch as tagging at third. De Aza. Throw will be cut off, and the Red Sox will take a 2-0 lead. Jackie Bradley Jr. on a sac fly puts Boston on top 2-0.
Yeah, very good job, especially with 2 strikes on him. Good job by Swihart to get him over. Good job by Bradley Jr. right here to get him in. Plenty of time. Don't have to rush. It's plenty deep enough. There's not going to be a play at the plate, so De Aza scores with no problem. No reason to leave early.
Two down for Mookie Betts, so the base is now empty, and they are shifting on Betts on the left side. It's Cabrera, the shortstop, throws him out at first base to end the inning. Red Sox score a pair, take a 2-0 lead through an inning and a half. He got 2 runs in the top half of this inning, and now David DeJesus, Logan Forsythe, and Steven Souza to bat here in the second inning against Rick Porcello. Staked to a 2-0 advantage. And it'll bounce in for ball 1. DeJesus at 291, 5 homers and 23 runs batted in. Hitting at just 184 in his last 18 games in the month of June. The guys hit in the middle of the order primarily, started in the cleanup spot now 15 times on the year. That's a fly ball out towards left center. Betts got a good jump, and Mookie will run it down. Back by the warning track, had to come from center field to grab that. Back by the 370 marker. Good running catch.
What makes that so good is that was a changeup, so you'd expect to hit it and pull that ball. Instead, he slices it the other way. Betts got a great jump in center field and able to track that ball down. That's a great read in center field by Mookie Betts.
One down here in the second inning for Logan Forsythe, as DeJesus robbed there by Betts. As Forsythe will take strike 1. Seen him all over the infield here for Tampa Bay. Settling into the second base spot and having a pretty good year. 292 average. 8 homers and 32 runs batted in. Messed up Marco Estrado's perfect game bid with 1 out in the 8th inning on Wednesday against Toronto.
That was a big high chop that bounced in front of home plate, fielded by Donaldson at third base. Through to first base. They appealed the play, but the play stood.
Now raised his average 28 points from 264 up to 292, where it is now. One-two is into center field for a base hit. The first hit of the night for Tampa Bay.
You know, when you see the catcher give a sign, one with the wiggle, when he wiggles his finger, that means he wants the sinking fastball. This time, the sinking fastball did not sink. It stayed up in the zone a little bit, and Forsythe picks up the base hit up the middle. It was a ground ball, but good location by Forsythe going back up the middle. And you see the one, and you see the wiggle. And that means he wants a sinking fastball. He gets the sinker from Porcello, but it didn't sink enough.
1 out, 1 on. Steven Souza Jr., the right fielder for the Rays, with a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Straight fastball away.
Numbers for Souza: 228, 14 homers, and 31 runs batted in.
Forsythe at first base, the guys you got to keep an eye on. He's got 7 steals. He's been caught 1 time.
Misses up and in. A ball and 2 strikes to Souza. Well, for Souza, first major league rookie to have 10 home runs and 10 stolen bases on this date since Kansas City's Carlos Beltran did it back in 1999, his rookie campaign. A couple of guys who made a big difference for this Rays lineup: Joey Butler, Steven Souza Jr., both contributing to a first place spot right now in the American League East. Down low, 2-2, and 25 pitches so far for Porcello. The last rookie to lead his team in home runs and stolen bases was Jim Rice. On the outside corner for strike 3. There's the second strikeout for Porcello. 2 down.
And again, you know, that's that 2-seamer going to the outside and bringing it back to the corner. Very good pitch right there by Porcello. He did it to a left-hander, Kiermaier, to start off the game. Now he does it to a right-hander, Souza Jr.
2 down, Forsythe at first base, and brings up as Asdrubal Cabrera, the former Cleveland Indian. Cabrera offensively hitting at just .206 coming in. 5 homers and 17 runs batted in. Cabrera has powered up lately, though. He's got 3 home runs in his last 11 games. Only 2 homers in his first 59 games of the year. And he's played very good defense. Only 2 errors, fewest among major league shortstops. He's played 70 games, 65 starts on the year for the Rays. Last year hit a career low .241, and this year hitting at .206. So trying to get it going at the plate as he swings at the 1-0 and evens it up at 1-1.
Had pretty good success against Porcello, .277 in his career. Of course, being in the same division when he was at Cleveland, probably saw quite a bit of Porcello.
Up over 1,000 games now for Cabrera in the major leagues. 1,033 to be exact. Shift on for him here in the infield. And time called as Cabrera backs out. Runner goes, and a swing and a foul off to the left out of play. And tomorrow on Dining Playbook, Billy Costa and Jenny Johnson come to you from a vineyard in Little Compton, Rhode Island. Plus here from Red Sox pitcher Justin Masterson. Don't miss Dining Playbook tomorrow morning at 9. 2 outs, Logan Forsythe at first base, and Asdrubal Cabrera down on the count 1-2. Fouled off again to the left. Another fastball poured in there by Porcello. Mark Krause getting ready for his first Rays at bat, waiting on deck.
The young Red Sox fan right there.
Perhaps the youngest here tonight. Two and two.
See Porcello that time holding the ball a long time. There's a lot of ways to try to negate the running game, and one of them for a pitcher is to come into a set position and just kind of make that runner at first base stand there and freeze. Shakes off the curveball, wants the sinking fastball.
And just missed on a pitch inside.
Yep, same thing he tried to do to Kiermaier to stop the game, but just a little bit inside. Tried that two-seamer, but not quite there.
On the ground, foul outside of first base. Asdrubal Cabrera still in his 20s. He is 29 years of age. Broke into the big leagues in 2007 as a member of the Cleveland Indians. Brief stopover last year in Washington with the Nationals. Now here in Tampa Bay for his first year. Payoff pitch again, and it is lined off the glove, and Napoli into right. Holt will knock it down. And to third base goes Forsythe. Cabrera's got himself a base hit. Runners at the corners. 2 down here for Tampa Bay.
A nice effort by Napoli at first base, but can't quite come up with it. Once it gets by him, you're going to have a first and third situation. Holt goes into the dive right there, catches it, but even if it gets by him, I mean, Jackie Bradley Jr. is going to be there to make the play, and would still be first and third.
Runners at the corners with 2 down, and Mark Krause coming up here for the Rays. And Krause acquired from the Angels yesterday. Added to the 40-man roster today. 143 in 11 games with the Angels this year. 5 for 35. The breakdown as he takes strike 1. "45th player used this season. A new team record before the All-Star break for Tampa Bay.
That's really amazing, isn't it?
Incredible. They think they're in first place. That one running in on him as it's now 0-2.
That's a pitch obviously he was not looking for right there. Very late swing on an inside fastball.
Parts of 3 seasons in the majors between the Houston Astros in 2013 and 14 and the Angels this year before joining this Tampa Bay Rays team. Off the glove and a fair ball up over Napoli and into the right field corner. Scoring his Forsythe as Dribble Cabrera will be stopped at third. It is an errant throw that's backed up by Porcello. And the Rays are on the board. It's now 2-1 Boston as they have runners at second and third with 2 outs.
Well, we kind of figured it. You know, the new guy comes in, and what does he do in his first at bat? Doubles right down the first base line. He got fooled on an inside fastball the first time, but not the second time. Right by Napoli, right over the bag. The run comes in. Cabrera slips around third base, but had no problem getting back. He actually went into a slide when he saw the third base coach put his hands up to stop him.
Second and third, 2 down, a run in. Here's Curt Casali. Rays catcher takes strike 1.
There's the coach putting up the stop sign. The slide by Cabrera. The ball gets by, but it's backed up by Porcello, so no advance.
Casali kind of changed his mind in the middle on that swing, and it's 0-2.
That's one you wish he made contact on right there, because that's not going to go anywhere.
Cabrera at third, Krause at second. As Casali bloops one foul ground, Napoli dives and can't get it. Good bid by Mike Napoli, but just out of his reach.
Now they are wearing out Mike Napoli here in the second inning. He's had, 3 opportunities, and all difficult ones. Nice effort by Napoli going into the dive, but can't quite get there. Gives Casali another chance.
Second and third, 2 down, a run in. Casali here down on the count, 0-2. Down low for ball 1, blocked by Swihart with the runner at third. On the ground to shortstop, Bogarts throws out Casali and ends the inning. The Rays get a run. Red Sox lead it 2-1 at the end of 2. All season long, Geico will highlight the 1975 Red Sox in honor of their 40th anniversary. In their 75th game of the 75 season, the Red Sox lost to the Brewers 4-3. Cecil Cooper went 2 for 4 with a home run for the Sox. And Brock Holt leads it off here in the top of the third. Red Sox on top 2-1. Colomé's Rays getting a run back in the bottom of the second inning. Brock Holt, a walk in the first, one of 3 walks allowed by Colomé in the first 2 innings.
Now between innings of conversation between Carl Willis, the pitching coach, and not the pitcher, Blake Swihart. So maybe going over how they're going to go against certain guys, pitch selection.
No 2 to Brock Holt. And a check swing down in the dirt. Brock Holt, road games, hitting at .364, leading hitter for the Red Sox.
Try the changeup against Holt.
Lifts into the air to center field. Kevin Kiermaier is waiting and catching the first out of the third inning. One down for Xander Bogaerts. Kiermaier looking up into the roof, which at times can be tough here, mainly day games being the toughest. But look at the roof here at Tropicana Field.
And all the catwalks that go along with the roof.
All the stuff, speakers, wires, a lot of stuff.
Something hit off a catwalk, figure it out. Try to figure it out.
There's Xander Bogaerts. Will swing and foul it back to the screen.
You can see they even got foul poles up on the catwalk. That yellow pole hanging down. They got speakers coming down. They've got all kind of junk coming down in this place.
The only way those foul poles line up is if you stand at home plate. Anywhere else in this ballpark, that top one and even the second one don't even look close to being lined up to the pole.
I mean, we couldn't tell if a ball was hit from here. No way possible. Only the home plate umpire could probably tell, or the first and third base umpire.
Well, that's the B ring, which is way up there. One pitch and a fly ball to right field, pretty good and deep to right, but Souza Jr. will grab it on the edge of the track. Bogaerts showing good opposite field power, but he's out number 2. DraftKings.com is paying out over $300 million this baseball season. DraftKings has given out $34 million to Boston residents alone since the site launched. Get free entry into a one-day fantasy baseball contest today using promo code NESSN. 2 outs. David Ortiz gets his second plate appearance of the night. David walked in the first inning, 1 of 3 allowed by Alex Colomé. Rays have lost each of Colomé's last 6 starts since his last victory, which was in May 21st against the Oakland A's for Kevin Cash. Ortiz threw the shift and into right field for a base hit. 2-out single for Big Papi, and that is the Red Sox second hit of the night.
Now David Ortiz picks up his first hit against Colomé. He was 0 for 2 against him coming into the game. Tonight a walk, and now to shift B to right here as he hits the ground ball very hard by the second baseman Logan Forsythe.
One on, 2 away. Pablo Sandoval fouled out to the third baseman Evan Longoria. Sandoval batted with 2 on and 2 outs in the first inning. Now he bats with 2 outs and a runner at first here in the third. Fly ball headed out towards left center field and deep. Kiermaier going back and will make the catch on the track. He stopped there for a second, but then continued onward to make that grab that ends the inning. 2.5 done, 2-1 Boston. Petersburg, Florida. Red Sox have a 2-1 lead. Tampa Bay out hitting Boston 3-2. Kevin Kiermaier made the catch to end last inning with a swing and a miss for strike one to begin the bottom of the third. In on the artificial surface at third base is Pablo Sandoval. Kiermaier's second look at Porcello tonight after he struck out looking in the first inning. 2 strikeouts on the night for Porcello. Chopped down the first baseline, a foul ball.
Well, Dustin Pedroia again sitting down, and while he's on the disabled list, he said today that his leg felt much improved, which is a good sign because hamstrings can take a while.
Chopper to first, Napoli backing up on it. He will flip to Porcello, who's got to hurry. Kiermaier gets down the line very well, and they do get it. Well, it's time for tonight's Twisted But True Fact. Rays manager Kevin Cash, one of 2 current MLB managers to have played in the Little League World Series. Cash played for Tampa Northside in 1989. It's the Little League World Series. The other manager to do so, Lloyd McClendon, 1971. Twisted Tea is the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. Of course, the former Red Sox catcher, among other stops for Kevin Cash in his first year as the manager of the Rays, and things are going pretty good here for the Rays.
Yeah, Joe Madden leaving for the Cubs in the offseason, and Kevin Cash, who's been mentioned over the last couple of years as a potential manager, gets the job here in Tampa.
After being on Terry Francona's coaching staff in Cleveland. Have a 1.5 game lead heading into tonight's action in the American League East over the Yankees. Joey Butler taking a pitch up top, and it's 2-1. Strike 2, 2-2, right on that outside edge.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 pitches on the outside part of the plate right there to Butler.
Curveball and a swing and a miss. Picks up his third strikeout. 2 down in the inning.
Butler's not a guy that's going to walk a lot. He does strike out a lot. He's got 7 walks on the season now, 45 strikeouts. It's the curveball this time doing the honors for Porcello, and not a very good approach right there by Butler on the breaking ball. So take note of that. See what happens the rest of the weekend with him.
2 down here in the 3rd inning for Evan Longoria. He grounded into the 4-6-3 double play in the 1st inning. For a ground ball out so far for Porcello in 2 2/3 innings. Foul to the screen, 0-2. Well, this summer, pump up the fun with Irving Oil. You could win a Ford Escape, a Can-Am Spyder, or $5,000 in cash or other great instant prizes. Visit a participating Irving Oil and IrvingFun.com for details. And Ramirez day to day, still with the injured hand.
Now Porcello wanted that pitch down and in. Instead it was up and in, and Longoria able to foul it off. When you face a guy like Porcello, the opposing team says, make him get the ball up. They're aware of his sinker, so they're prepared for pitches that are belt high and above. That time Longoria fouling off a belt high fastball. Wants to go back down and in.
And Longoria cleans it out to foul out ahead. Longoria now with DeJesus waiting on deck here for Tampa Bay. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss, and Longoria strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Porcello. 4 in all. Red Sox lead it 2-1 as we head to the 4th. And all you have to do to get $100 is open an Eastern free checking account. Learn more at easternbank.com/free checking. Plenty of beaches in St. Petersburg as the Red Sox and Rays play the first of a weekend 3-game series. Red Sox got 2 in the top of the 2nd. Rays came back with a run in the bottom of the 2nd. There is Mike Napoli to lead it off in the 4th inning. Napoli will take strike 1. He walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Low for a ball, 1-1. Red Sox been held to 2 hits. Alejandro Diaz's double that drove in a run, and David Ortiz with a 2-out single in the 3rd inning. Alejandro Diaz waiting on deck, then Blake Swihart expected in the inning. 6, 7, and 8 for the Red Sox here in the 4th. Napoli will foul it back to the screen. 2-2. Well, bring your dog out to Fenway on Monday, June the 29th for Dog Day at Fenway. From 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., you and your 4-legged friend are invited to walk the warning track. Get your pictures taken in the dugouts and interact with local pet-friendly vendors. Tickets are just $10. 2-2 to Mike Napoli. In the dirt for ball 3. Colome has 1 strikeout tonight. That was Mookie Betts back in the 1st inning. Since then, 3 walks. They'll try to get Mike on a fastball away. And it is down for ball 4. There's the 4th walk given up by Colome. Second time a leadoff walk. It was also Napoli back in the 2nd.
Yeah, in that inning, the Red Sox were able to get a couple of runs off Colome after the leadoff walk.
Lead runner on for Boston. Here is Alejandro Diaz. Double to drive in a run. His 16th RBI of the year back in the 2nd inning. Evan Longoria, the lip of the artificial surface at 3rd base. This is the 60th pitch of the night for Colome, and a swing and a miss for Diaz. Good lay off the high fastball. There's Longoria's now backed up a step or 2, about even with the bag. In the air to right field. Souza Jr. backpedaling to the warning track to make the catch. For the first out of the 4th inning, Diaz retired.
That ball hit very well by Diaz. That's twice now in 2 at-bats. One slicing away from Kiermaier for a double back in the 2nd. That ball hit hard, chasing Souza Jr. back about 3 or 4 steps to make the catch.
1 out, 1 on, and Blake Swihart the batter. The Red Sox catcher grounded out to 2nd base in the 2nd inning. Gets a second look at Alex Colome. Off the end of the bat, foul to the left hand, out of play. Swihart with a long look down to Brian Butterfield, 3rd base coach's box.
Now, one thing the Red Sox may have to do, without Pedroia in the lineup, without Hanley Ramirez in the lineup, is try to create some offense by hitting and running once in a while. This is not a good count to do it in, and it looks like it's going to be a changeup.
On the ground up the middle, Forsythe was way over towards first base, not going to get that. Into 3rd goes Napoli on the single by Swihart. 2nd baseman Forsythe was way over to the first base side of 2nd and can't run that down.
And a lot of times we're seeing infield shift on Swihart, and if they had been in a shift, this would have been right at the shortstop, who would have been pulled over to that position, but instead it gets by the reach of Colome and into center field. Napoli doesn't hesitate. He moves on to 3rd base.
1st and 3rd, 1 out, and Jackie Bradley Jr. coming up. Rays a double play depth here. Bradley with a sacrifice fly in the 2nd inning. Runner goes at first. Bradley swings and misses, and here comes Napoli from third. Throw to second is going to be in time for out number 2, but scoring is Napoli. So they try the double steal. Napoli steals home, and the Red Sox are able to take a 3-1 lead.
That's exactly what I was talking about, Don. You know, trying to force the issue a little bit, and right there they try a double steal, which completely surprises the Tampa Bay Rays. They get the out at second base, but they're not even thinking about the runner going home, and Napoli easily makes it into the plate. So trying to create some offense.
Now Bradley with a swing and a miss, down 0-2.
When's the last time we saw the Red Sox try a double steal? I can't remember.
Napoli was the last one to score. I remember Napoli scoring on same situation. He was scoring at home on a stolen base, and I believe it was last year. Not this year. The 0-2 pitch. And that is on the outside corner. Bradley goes looking. Red Sox get a run on the double steal. A steal of home. 3-1. Red Sox have the lead. At Eastern Bank, being first feels like $100. Just open an Eastern free checking account in the month of June and you'll get $100. Learn more at easternbank.com/free checking. Bottom of the 4th inning, back in St. Pete, and a first pitch strike into David DeJesus. Now, Napoli scoring not on a stolen base on the back end. It turns out to be a fielder's choice because of the out at second base, as they do catch Blake Swihart at second base, caught stealing 2-4. So Napoli not scoring on the back end of a double steal, as Bogaerts from short throws to first to get DeJesus for the first out of the 4th inning.
You know, the key to a double steal for the man at third base is to make sure the ball's going through. And you'll see Napoli right here as he leads off the bag. Swihart's off at first, down the line. He reads it right away. It was almost like the Red Sox knew they were not going to, do anything but throw through in that situation, because Napoli didn't even hesitate. As soon as that ball left the catcher's hand, he was gone.
Logan Forsythe batting with 1 out. Already has a base hit tonight against Porcello, a single in the 2nd inning. Porcello is now retired 5 in a row, 2 by way of the K and 3 on ground ball outs. Good sign for the single baller. Second 2-run lead of the night for Porcello to protect. Had a 2-0 advantage. It was 2-1. Now it's 3-1. Forsythe with a base hit into center field. He's 2 for 2 against Porcello tonight.
He came into the game 1 for 6 against Porcello, but as you mentioned, Don, 2 for 2 in this one, and again a threat to steal, even though they're down by a couple of runs. Weight shift right there. Pretty good swing by Forsythe as he takes that baseball right back up the middle for the base hit.
1 out, 1 on for Steven Souza Jr., a strikeout victim in the second inning. He went looking. Total of 4 strikeouts in the game tonight for Porcello. That's a pop up into shallow left. Bogart's going out, calling and catching out number 2 of this 4th inning. Now, Tuesday in an all-new Red Sox report. Go inside the draft room and catch up with the latest class of Red Sox scholars. And this week's episode recaps the month of June. Don't miss the Red Sox report Tuesday at 5. 2 outs in the 4th inning. Logan Forsythe at first base, and Asdrubal Cabrera coming up. And a single back in the second inning. Rays with 4 hits in the game. Tampa Bay left runners at second and third in the second inning when Kurt Casale grounded out to Bogarts at shortstop. Now runner going at first base. Pitch is in there for a strike. Throw down is going to be not in time. Stolen base for Logan Forsythe.
As we mentioned, a couple of runs is not going to stop a running team from trying to get in a scoring position. And Forsythe really picked a good pitch. It was a curveball from Porcello. Gets a very good jump, the head first slide into second base. Bogarts applies the tag after playing it on one hop, but the hand in. And they may look at this. Let's take another look.
I think the hand gets in before the tag on the helmet.
I do too. I agree with you, Don, but it looks like they are going to appeal this and take a look on review.
Brian Gorman, the crew chief, along with Trip Gibson, the umpire at second base, who made the call. Tag looked like it was on the bill of the helmet.
Actually, from that angle, it looks close to the tag in the hand. Another look from behind. That's much closer than I thought it was originally, but I still think he's got to be safe.
I think his hand's on the bag now.
Yeah. From that angle there.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's very difficult. It really is. It depends what angle you're looking at.
The call on the field again is safe, a stolen base, so we'll see. Is there enough there to overturn it?
Red Sox felt very strongly about that because they didn't wait very long at all. That's the one there where I think the hand is in, but maybe not. You see the glove tagging the helmet?
Yep. And that hand is not down at that point.
It's not down, not on the bag at that point right there.
Wow.
I may have to erase the stolen base. I've already got my scorecards.
I haven't done it yet.
We've seen a number of different angles that give you a number of different feelings about which way this is going to go.
Now this one makes me feel like he got there.
I think you and I ought to just stay out of this.
Yeah, I talked myself out of it 3 times, and now he's out. How about that? So caught stealing by Blake Swihart. We are through 4 with the Red Sox on top 3-1. You'll donate $50 to the Sean Thornton Foundation. EchoStore is proud to assist in helping find a cure for Parkinson's disease and pediatric cancer. To learn more, log on to EchoStore.com. Now, Blake Swihart ended up throwing out Logan Forsythe at second base. The Red Sox winning the challenge. Call overturned. And now it is Mookie Betts leading it off for the Red Sox, top of the order here in the top of the 5th inning. That's 0 for 2 against Alex Colomé, striking out in the first, grounding out to short in the 2nd inning. They shift on Betts on the left side of the infield, do the Rays. Curious why the shift looks different on the left side than it does on the right side. Most times when they shift on the left side, they do keep it tight to the infield. Rarely do you see a guy go into short left like you do on the other side with the second baseman.
Well, the deal there is if you're the shortstop and you're out in the outfield, there's no way you can throw a man out of first base.
Too long a throw.
Yeah, you'd have to have a cannon for an arm to be able to do that. So that's why it's always on the infield side.
Two-one here coming to Mookie Betts. Fly ball lifted down the right field line. Long run for Souza into foul ground by the bullpen. Makes the catch and look out. Tumbles up over into the seats. The short fencing down there holds onto the baseball for the out. Nice catch by Souza dealing with the Penn mound down there. Chairs, people, you name it, into the crowd. He comes back with it in his glove.
You got that right. What an effort right here by Souza Jr. I mean, he's climbing the mound. And then concentration to be able to make the catch after going uphill. The wall coming up on him, up over the wall and into the seats. I mean, that's a great play. And clearly holding on to the baseball.
So Mookie Betts fouls out for the first out of the inning. Now Brock Holt lining one foul the other way down to the Red Sox pen.
I think the other thing you got to keep in mind about that fly ball is the fact that that ball slicing away from him also off the bat of Mookie Betts. So that climbing the bullpen mound, the wall, the dive, and then when he hits the ground, hold on to the baseball. That's pretty amazing play.
A lot of stuff going on.
Whew.
Brock Holt's third plate appearance of the night, a walk and a fly out to center in the first two.
Those ladies with the cowboy hats on, are they giving away cowboy hats tonight here?
They are. It's ladies' night here at Tropicana Field, and the giveaway is those cowboy hats.
Ladies' night tonight.
Yeah.
Betty Lou's getting out tonight.
There you go.
Anita's got one too. How about that?
1-2 pitch fouled off Holt, and that hurts. As Brock will limp around here. Looks like he got him on the leg.
Tops it, looks off his like his right shin or right ankle, and down he goes. They put that hat on, Anita. You can take the headsets off and put the hat on, show off what they're giving away. That's quite the good looking lid. That's really special.
Works better without the headset, but yeah. Holt rolls it over on the ground right side. Forsythe to first base for out number 2 of the inning. Well, 2 down. Let's take a look at the Toyota play of the game. We just saw it. Mookie Betts robbed here, and great running catch by Steven Souza Jr. That first into the seats.
I mean, we can keep adding stuff to this. He has to catch this down below his knees too.
That's the other thing.
I'm sure we'll find more things as we go along.
To me, the most impressive part is running uphill.
Yeah,
that's tough.
The head starts bouncing up and down.
Xander takes strike one right down the middle at 94 miles an hour.
See the mound right there, and that's where he starts to go uphill, and still the concentration to make the catch.
Tried to brace himself, but not much time. Two outs here in the top of the fifth inning. Bogart's 0 for 2 in the game. He's fouled out to the first baseman and flied out to the warning track in right field. Framed there by Casale, but Brian Gorman, home plate umpire, not biting. Xander sliding into this 3 spot in the Red Sox order, of course, with Dustin Pedroia on the DL. Chopped softly by the mound. It's Longoria on the run, but late from third base. He really had the only chance cutting it off, but now with the speed of Bogarts, an infield hit with 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, right. He's the only guy that had a chance, and he misses by quite a bit as he cuts across, makes the throw, but Bogart's well past the first base bag. So that keeps the inning alive for David Ortiz. Xander getting it down the line. You know, it's interesting, Don. I asked Brian Butterfield, what average times are for runners in today's game, and I was curious about that because he keeps times for his defensive players to know if they've got to play a little more shallow, a little more deep against certain guys in the infield. And he says right-hand is now a 4-4 and lefties a 4-3. That surprised me. That's higher than I thought. And what it means to me is a lot of guys aren't running down the line very hard. Because, I mean, these guys are better athletes than when I played, and I think it was lower when I played. I think it was average was like 4-3 and 4-2. And I was surprised to hear him say that. I thought it was going to be lower than that, and it's not. It's actually higher. And that, to me, just tells me guys aren't hustling as much down the line. Now, certainly Bogarts was in that play.
Throw to first, pretty short lead there for Bogarts. David tonight has walked and singled to right field. Now, you were a lefty hitter and you could run. What was your time, do you think, to first base?
On bunts, I could get down there on 3-8, sometimes a 3-7 on a drag bunt.
That'll bounce in. A ball and a strike here to Ortiz.
That's only because I was about 2 steps out of the box when I bunted it. But
you were on the move already.
Yeah. I was a first 4, sometimes a sub 4 in my good days.
Ortiz fouls it off to the left to be down 1-2.
I'd like to try that right now and see what my time would be down at first base on a drag bunt. It'd probably go from a 3-8 to I'd say a good. Well, you know what? I don't think I'd make it to first base.
You may not make the entire way.
I don't think I'd make it. No. Knee'd fall apart. The back would fall apart. All kind of stuff would be happening on the way down there.
Ortiz to left field. David DeJesus going back to make the catch on the track. Good running grab. No one was bending away from him. Halfway through this one, Red Sox have a 3-1 lead. fun night at Fenway Park. Groups of 20 or more start at $20 each. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Curveball from Rick Porcello to start the bottom of the 5th inning to Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera, Krause, and Casali to bat here in the inning. Red Sox on top 3-1. Bunt bid with Porcello racing over, throwing off balance, and no chance. Bunt single for Cabrera, his second hit of the night. Sandoval was in the shift, no chance for him.
Yeah, exactly. Nice job by Cabrera there. They need a base runner any way they can get it. They've got Sandoval way off the line at third base, and it's up to Porcello to try to make this play. That's just about impossible. A barehanded attempt, but Cabrera, who's having a tough time getting hits, picks a bunt to get a hit.
Lead runner on here for the Tampa Bay Rays for the first time tonight. Now Mark Krause in his second at bat in a Rays uniform. Double to drive and a run in the second inning. The lone Rays run so far tonight. Napoli holding on. Cabrera at first base. Krause thought about it, doesn't chase. Did he go? No. It's his third base umpire, Mark Carlson. Swing and a miss for Krause, and it's 2-1.
Thinking fastball that time by Porcello, trying to induce the ground ball and induce a double play.
Swing and a miss. Evens up at 2-2. Porcello had fallen behind 2-0.
Backs up the two-seam fastball with a changeup that time.
Kurt Casali, the catcher for the Rays, waiting on deck. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 70th pitch for Rick Porcello. And a foul ball. And a piece of Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire.
Elevated fastball this time, and elevated some more with the bat right off the mask of the home plate umpire.
A double elevation.
I threw dubs on you. I'm glad you noticed, Don.
Good size lead at first base now for Cabrera. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out. It's 5 strikeouts now for Porcello.
El Porcello stays upstairs for the strikeout. As you can see at the top of the strike zone, the swing and the miss. Out and away.
Beacon Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. 1 on, 1 out. Krause unable to move the runner along after the bunt single to begin the inning. Now Kurt Casali, the catcher, number 9 man, who grounded out to the shortstop. Xander Bogaerts in the second inning. Throw to first, and relatively close, but back to the bag, Cabrera.
It looks like he slipped a little bit trying to get back on that dive to first base. Take another look. You see how he's opened up a little bit towards second base. Some base runners will do that. They will open that front shoulder, but the crossover is a little bit more difficult when you're going back to the bat. It's almost like you're in the starting gate, you know, when you're ready to explode to second base. They'll use that open shoulder to kind of get him going in that direction.
Xavier Cedeno, the action in the pen, and they're going to check this out. Apparently at first base to see whether or not he was picked off, I guess.
Okay, I'm not saying a word on this. Not a word. We're going to dead air.
We'll get a look.
As I said, dead air.
You're not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Throwing your stuff out there?
No.
I'm saying he's back safe. What do you think?
I tell you.
Come on.
I'm looking at it. I'm saying he's safe. But
okay. Okay. You can't shy away just because you've been wrong like the last 9 times in a row. I mean, don't let that get away.
That's not fair.
It's a good gun shy here.
I'll tell you one thing. It's a good thing I'm not the replay guy in New York. You'd have managers running to New York to argue with me.
Porcello continuing to warm up here as they continue to check this out.
I'm saying safe.
That was the call by Adam Hamari, the first base umpire. He has now got one of the 2 headsets on. Second review of the night. Red Sox had a call overturned. Caught stealing at second base. Xander Bogaerts did indeed apply the tag. They got Logan Forsythe in the 4th inning. This time the runner at first is safe. All right. So there we go. We're back on it, Jerry.
I wish he was out. And believe me, I wish he was out, but my percentage goes up a little bit.
Red Sox now out of challenges. John Farrell won the first one, loses the second one, and that's that. Sally 3 for 12 with the Rays this year. Low for ball 1. Came up with runners at second and third in the second inning. Grounded out to the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Line to center field. A base hit for Casale. Cabrera up to second, and the Rays have runners at first and second with 1 down.
At the bottom of the batting order, doing fairly well in this game. Cabrera's got a couple of hits, a double for Krause back in the second inning to drive in a run, and now Casale is 1 for 2 after that base hit to center field. Line drive. So here's a guy down. If you're going to try to double up, you got to bring your second baseman and your shortstop in a little bit closer because he's at such good speed down the first base line. So you've got to give up something to get something.
And on the artificial surface at third is Sandoval. As Kiermaier takes ball 1 away. There is Sandoval.
Sandoval has to watch the pitch, then check the runner to make sure he's not going. That's where Bogaerts comes in by yelling if he does go to Sandoval.
On the ground up the middle, Bogaerts will touch second, throw to first for a double play. That's what Rick Porcello wanted. He gets it. And we're through 5 with the Red Sox on top 3-1. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Alex Colomé's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. They're all earned. He has walked 4, struck out 2. 83 pitches deep into his outing as he works here into the 6th inning. Pablo Sandoval to lead it off here in the top of the 6th inning. That takes strike 1 from Colomé. Sandoval 0 for 2. He's fouled out to Evan Longoria at third base and flat out to the warning track in center field. A good running catch by Kevin Kiermaier back in the 3rd inning. Well, he lifts one down the left field line high in the air. Longoria to Jesus. It is Longoria making the catch down by the bullpen mound, well down the left field line.
Yeah, you would think that DeJesus would be somewhere in the area to make the play, but it's Longoria, and he's waving off the left fielder to make that catch. That's generally one there where the left fielder will yell off the third. You call off the third baseman by yelling, "I got it, I got it," and a much easier play for him coming in.
One out for Mike Napoli, who has walked twice in the game tonight. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Napoli walked in the 2nd, scored, walked in the 4th, and scored. Last time out, Colomé going 7 innings, 7 shutout innings at that against Cleveland. He's gone 5 1/3 so far here tonight. Ball 2, 2-1. His 17 career starts coming into tonight. He's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer 12 of the 17 starts. Tonight he's given up 3 so far. And misses again here to Napoli, 3-1. Well, misses badly with that location, and that is the 3rd time tonight Napoli has drawn a walk. 5th walk given up by Colomé. Well, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings live right after the game. Adam Pellerin and Tim Wakefield will break down the game. You'll hear from Rick Porcello and John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason?
Now you got a combination up there now that if you choose to hit and run, you could do so with De Aza and Napoli. It doesn't matter about the speed. It's up to the hitter to get the bat on the ball.
Strike on the outside corner.
When you're putting on a hit and run, it's generally on a pitch where you're confident you're going to get a strike, something good to swing at.
Runner takes off, and how about that jump? That's in there for a strike, but Napoli at second base stolen almost before he threw the ball.
Well, they were going to play hit and run. There's no way they got Napoli just on a straight out steal, but the pitcher, I mean, for some odd reason, doesn't even step off. Napoli's out by 10 miles if he steps off. And it's almost like he wasn't even looking at him. And Napoli just standing up going into second base for the stolen base. So instead of the hit and run, De Aza made the smart move by not swinging.
Swings to the 0-2 and pops it up into shallow left. Cabrera out, De Jesus in, and it is De Jesus makes the catch for the 2nd out. 2 down. No advance for Napoli. Get immediate care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station, located behind Section 12 in the lower concourse. BIDMC is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. 2 down, runner at second base for Blake Swihart. It's grounded to second, single to center. Fly ball center field, sending Kiermaier back. He'll go back to the warning track to make the catch. Red Sox leave Napoli in scoring position. 5.5 done, 3-1 Boston.
Thanks, Don. I talked to Jackie Bradley Jr. today, and he told me that he's been working really hard in Pawtucket, and he hopes to translate that success to Boston. He also told me that his mom was the 8th African-American female state trooper in Virginia, and he can remember her taking him to school in a police car. Bradley Jr. also told me that his mom was very strict when he was growing up, but that it was a good thing because that's where he got his work ethic and his self-discipline from. Don?
All right, Garrett, thanks very much. Mookie Betts will get it back in here on a base hit by Joey Butler to begin things here in the 6th inning.
Well, they struck Butler out on a curveball in the 3rd inning, and he didn't look good swinging at it, so they tried the curveball again here in the 6th, and he rifles it up the middle for a base hit. There's the breaking ball again, but that time it stays up a little bit in the zone and right past Porcello. And the 2 middle infielders.
Lead runner on for the 2nd straight inning now for Tampa Bay. And here's Evan Longoria. He'll take it the other way to right, sending Bradley Jr. back at the wall. Leach can't catch it. It's off the wall. Butler racing around the bases. Will stop at 3rd. It's a double the other way for Longoria. And it's 2nd and 3rd with nobody out for Tampa Bay.
Now the first 2 hitters here in the 6th inning being very aggressive. Butler on the curveball, and then Longoria on the sinking fastball to the opposite field. If Bradley can't make the catch, nobody can. And you see Butler hanging out to make sure, almost missed second base on the way to 3rd, but Tampa Bay in business here. 2 on, nobody out.
David DeJesus, the batter here against Porcello. 0 for 2 tonight. He's flying to center, grounded out to short. In the dirt.
Here's a situation down where I think the hitter has to pull the ball, and the reason I say that, you're trying to get a base hit, obviously, to drive in 2. But if you pull the ball, the infield's back, you get the run home, you get the man to third base if you make a ground ball out.
The Jesus to right field, and Bradley Jr. who will make the catch. Tagging at third base is Butler. Tagging going to third is Longoria. Run will score. Ball gets away. And staying at third base is Longoria as the Rays get within a run. It's now 3-2.
That's exactly what we were talking about. Pull the ball. He pulls it in the air. And that gets the run home from third base. A strong throw by Bradley Jr., but it looks like it bounced up and hit Sandoval in the chin. That was the elbow that got him in the chin. The ball got by Sandoval, backed up by Porcello. So that's exactly what we're talking about. Pulling the ball. Yes, you don't get the base hit and drive it too, but you make a productive out. You get a run home. And I think that Red Sox may appeal at second base. Unsuccessful appeal. They thought that maybe the runner Longoria left too soon. By the way, the ball is in play when they make an appeal like that.
So now Longoria 90 feet away with the tying run as Logan Forsythe bats. 2 for 2 in the game. Both singles to center. Infield in as he takes strike one.
There's the at bat by DeJesus, and when we're talking about pulling the ball, that's all he's thinking about right there. As you can see, that ball is to the outside part of the plate, and he hooks it.
Down and in, 1-1. Tommy Lane up in the Red Sox pen. In the dirt, gets away from Swihart. Here comes Longoria. Game tied, 3-3. Well, the Rays started the inning with back-to-back hits, and they both score to tie the game.
Well, that didn't take very long. Back-to-back hits, the sacrifice fly, you get the man at third base, and then the wild pitch, the curveball that bounces in the dirt. No play at home. Longoria ties the ball game at 3.
So Rick Porcello, who has not won a game since May the 16th, leads of 2-0, 3-1. Now it is 3-3 as Forsythe to left field has got himself his third hit of the night. Carl Willis going to be coming out here, the pitching coach. They've got Tommy Lane warming in the pen. Quite a night for Forsythe. 2 singles to center, now a single to left. Time now for Game Break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Adam? All right, Adam, thanks very much. Well, the Rays here have just tied the score at 3-3. Logan Forsythe has singled with 1 out in the inning, and now here is Steven Souza Jr. Made the defensive play of the game, no doubt, making a catch and foul ground and heading into the seats. At the plate tonight, 0 for 2 against Porcello. A strikeout looking, a pop out to shortstop. Fouls it off and evens the count at 1-1. in there for a strike, grabs the corner, 1-2. Rick Porcello's pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 5 1/3, 9 hits, 3 runs. He's walked a batter, struck out 5. 87 pitches deep into his outing. Up a run in the second, 2 so far here in the 6th inning. This one chopped up over the mound. The shortstop Bogaerts will touch second, and that's the only out he can get. Some fancy footwork to get there ahead of Forsythe for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, good job by Bogaerts. A very athletic play here as it's going to take him to the second base side of the bag, and he is able to quickly readjust and get to the bag to get that lead man, that go-ahead run. It's a very smart play there by Bogaerts and a very athletic play by Bogaerts.
So 2 down with Souza Jr. at first base, and here's Asdrubal Cabrera.
You got to watch Souza Jr. He can run too. He's got 10 steals, thrown out 5 times. I'd go with 2 outs.
Got a good sized lead at first base. Red Sox in the shift. Throw over, and he's back safely. See the shift with Bogaerts coming to the right side of the infield. Fly ball center field. Mookie Betts going back, has room, and makes the catch that ends the inning. But the Rays score twice and tie the score 3-3 at the end of 6. Inning, 2 runs back for the Rays in that inning to tie it up off Rick Porcello. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Kia as Kevin Jepson comes into the game here for the Rays after 6 innings from Alex Colomé. Jepson's 35th appearance, 1-5 with a 2.61 earned run average, 26 strikeouts to 16 walks, and opponents hitting at .223 against Jepson. Jackie Bradley Jr. to lead it off as he takes a pitch high for ball 1. Jepson has walked 16 batters so far in the season, walking more than normal as the pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. And a guy that has closed out games. They have shared that here in Tampa Bay, switching around quite a bit. He has closed games. Jepsen has closed games. Brad Boxberger has closed games. There's a liner into center field and a good start here to the 7th inning for the Red Sox. Jackie Bradley Jr. has got his first hit of the night.
Bradley's had a good night. A sacrifice back in the 2nd inning to drive in and run, and the base hit, hard hit, line shot up over the head of Jepsen and in the center field. The leading lady on here in the 7th inning for the Red Sox.
There's Mookie Betts, 0 for 3 in the game. Betts struck out, grounded out, and fouled out. Three runs, 9 hits, no errors for Tampa Bay. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Boston.
See if the Red Sox put a play on.
That's with a home run in his career against Jepsen. In there for strikes, even the count of 1-1. Looks down for the signs from Brian Butterfield. That takes the strike on the outside corner. Jepsen with a good pitch there. 1-2. Porcello getting the word he is done for the game. John Farrell lets him know after 6 innings. Ends up throwing 89 pitches in the outing as Tommy Lane continues to warm in the pen. On the ground right side, Forsythe will go to second base to get the lead runner. A little bobble there, but he had it long enough apparently for the out.
A good heads-up play by Forsythe. Even though he's going to his left, he knew he had time to get Bradley the lead man and keep that potential go-ahead run out of scoring position. Nobody's trying to get a double play there. Just get a out at second base. Cabrera making the tag, not even attempting a double play. There's no way they would have got it, but a good heads-up play by Forsythe.
1 out, 1 on, and it brings up Brock Holt. Holt 0 for 2 in the game. He has walked, flat out to center, and grounded out to second base.
That first pitch was like a pitch out right there because it Betts at first base. Go way outside just in case Betts was running.
There he goes at first. A swing and a miss for Holt. Throw is very high and into center field. So Betts pops up, stops around, and gets back. No, he's going to be out. He took off for third, but Kiermaier got it in behind him very quickly, and he is out. 2 down.
Well, indecision by Mookie Betts. He had to steal a second base with no problem. Then he sees the ball go into center field, pops up, but Kiermaier doing his job by hustling in, and Betts had nowhere to go. He couldn't make third base, and he tried to get back to second, but he's going to be caught there. Just being too aggressive is Mookie Betts right there, and it costs the Red Sox a man in scoring position.
Now Holt will foul it off, and it's 1-2.
Betts was looking back, so that was a hit and run play. You could see the swing and miss too by Holt. It was not a straight out steal.
One ball, 2 strikes here with 2 outs in the inning to Brock Holt. And that's low. 2-2.
Take one more look and you'll see that Holt does swing here. They're trying to play hit and run. No contact. but an easy steal of second base, but then Betts gets trapped.
High for ball 3, full count. Xander Bogaerts on deck, 2 down, bases empty for the Red Sox here in the 7th. In there for strike 3. Holt takes it, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch for the game tied 3-3. Nissan. Get to Nissan's Rendezvous Life for exciting performance and bonus cash. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Your local Subaru dealers. And by the Kia Sorrento. Three the score. To the bottom of the 7th inning we go. And Tommy Lane in here to face a pinch hitter and Jake Elmore, who takes strike 1 to begin the inning. Tommy Lane into his 30th game of the year, 0-1 with a 3.13 earned run average, 25 strikeouts, 12 walks. Opponent sitting at 205 against Lane. Elmore grounds it foul. His bats here for Mark Krause. Made his Rays debut tonight, doubled, drove in a run and struck out. Elmore a .245 hitter with a home run and 13 runs batted in. Tommy Lane pitched yesterday against Baltimore, going 2/3 of an inning, giving up a run. On the ground right side to Brock Holt at second base. And the pinch hitter Elmore retired for the first out here at the bottom of the 7th inning. Time now to check out the results of tonight's Dunkin' Donuts poll question. We asked which AL team is the biggest surprise this season, and 79% of you thought the Houston Astros, and I would agree.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. Although the Rays have been a surprise, the Astros an incredible surprise.
They have a 5-game lead over both the Angels and Rangers to start tonight's play. In the West, this is down the line but foul. Kurt Casale 1 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to short, singled to center. Now 4 for 13 with the Rays. With Porcello tonight, 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. He will not be part of the decision tonight. Came into the game individually 4 and 8. More action in the Red Sox pen. Shinichi Tozawa warming. Ball and 2 strikes to Kirk Casale. Jake McGee up in the pen now for Tampa Bay. Starter Alex Colomé went to 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. Kevin Jepsen not allow a run in the 7th inning. But tonight on NESN Sports Today, El Duncan will be live in Surprise, Florida, with the latest on tonight's NHL draft. That's tonight after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Ball and 2 strikes to Casale. 2-2. Top of the order, Kevin Kiermaier waiting on deck. With 1 out here in the Rays' 7th inning. They tied it up with 2 in their half of the 6th inning. Full count now. Sally, the number 9 man, will see a 7th pitch in this at bat. On the ground to shortstop, Xander Bogaerts has got it. And there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Both ground ball outs for Tommy Lane. Two down for Kevin Kiermaier. 0 for 3 in the game so far. He has struck out, grounded out. Last time up, bounced into a 6-3 double play. Red Sox have turned 2 double plays in this game. Up the middle and into center field. Just under the glove of the pitcher Tommy Lane. And Kiermaier on with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. His first hit of the night.
That's going to bring out John Farrell out of the dugout to go to Zawa.
So the pitching change here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Game tied 3-3. Stay tuned following WB Mason Extra Innings Live, a Red Sox final presented by Uno's. Adam Pellerin and Tim Wakefield preview Wade Miley's start against the Rays. 3-3 the score with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. New pitcher for the Red Sox. As Shinichi Tozawa comes in here with Joey Butler standing in on the right side, and Kevin Kiermaier's got very good speed at first base.
That's right, Don. I have no doubt at all, like Kiermaier right now has the green light to go if he feels he can get a good enough jump.
35th appearance for Tozawa, 2.87 earned run average, 32 Ks to only 6 walks on the year. Butler taking a hack and fouling it off to the right out of play.
That makes no sense to me at all. I mean, you got a base stealer at first base. You've got to give him a strike to try to steal second base. You're talking about a 3-3 ball game with a speed at first base and 2 outs in the inning.
Well, he can't hold up. Goes around for strike 2.
Way out of the strike zone, but Butler can't hold up. Tries to chase it.
Swing and a miss, and it makes quick work of Joey Butler, striking him out to end the 7th inning. Game tied 3-3 as we head to the 8th. Donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Alltown is New England's premier healthier convenience retailer. Now, new pitcher on for the Rays, Jake McGee. Into his 16th game of the year without a record, a nifty 1.93 earned run average, 23 strikeouts to 1 walk. Opponent's hitting at 192 against Jake McGee. Takes over for Kevin Jepson. Xander Bogaerts leading it off here in the top of the 8th. Bogaerts singled his last time up, 1 for 3 in the game. He followed by David Ortiz, Pablo Sandoval here in the 8th inning. On the ground, left side, Cabrera's got it. His throw is going to be just in time. Close play there at first base. He didn't get that much on the throw and gave Bogaerts a chance to almost reach.
Yeah, I think he underestimated the speed of Xander Bogaerts as he comes sidearm with that ball, and that ball tails back in toward the runner. But a good job by Elmore being able to. Does he keep contact with first base? Apparently he did.
Elmore taking over at first after a pinch hit for Mark Krause. Takes over for him defensively. Red Sox are out of challenges. That looked like it got him anyway. One out for David Ortiz. Shift on for the Rays. And a pitch outside. Ortiz tonight has walked, singled, and flied out to the warning track. Fouls it back. Fastball at 95 from Jake McGee. Well, tomorrow at 3, don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. Adam Pellerin and Tim Wakefield will preview Wade Miley's start against the Rays. A 3-3 game here in the top of the 8th inning. Ball and 2 strikes to Big Papi.
That pretty nasty breaking ball right there, down and away from Ortiz, shaking his head, but it looked like a good pitch. Take one more look at it.
On the ground, broken bat with a shift on. Cabrera able, or actually Longoria able to throw out Ortiz. Third baseman was on the right side of the infield. That's what's left of the bat. 2 down.
There's the shift put on, and it plays in perfectly. That ball away from Ortiz toward the end of the bat, cracks it. And an easy out at first base.
2 down here in the 8th as Pablo Sandoval bats. 0 for 3 tonight. It's fouled out to Longoria third twice tonight and flied out to the warning track in center. Fouled straight back for strike 1. 96 that time on the fastball from McGee. He last pitched on Wednesday against the Blue Jays. 23 strikeouts, only 1 walk so far this season. A lot of strikes and ahead here. 0-2.
You know, these are the kind of games the Rays have been involved in all season long. Very close games.
14 of his 15 appearances this year have been scoreless. Again, one of the guys that has been saving games for them, but in a perfect world, it seems like Boxberger's been doing the bulk of that. They can line it up the way they have tonight. Jepson came in for an inning, McGee an inning, and then Boxberger, if they get that far next inning, or Kevin Cash. Boxberger has 19 saves. There's a 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Sandoval fouls it off. H.B. Hood salutes the Red Sox Foundation for its commitment to 4,900 accredited charities throughout New England. Xander Bogaerts grounded out to short. David Ortiz grounded out to third. 2 down here in the 8th. Pablo Sandoval battling. Reaches out, protects the plate, and fouls it off. That was a tough pitch, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that was just on that outside edge.
A very good job there by Sandoval, because if he takes that, it's going to be called strike 3.
He backs off. Sandoval backed out. Two to left field. David DeJesus almost in his tracks out there. Makes the catch that ends the inning. We head to the bottom of the 8th with the game tied 3-3. Innings giving up 3 runs. Column A, 6 innings giving up 3 runs. Game tied 3-3. And a curveball from Tazawa that is in there for strike 1. Napoli on 3 times with 3 walks in this game. Logan Forsythe 3 for 3 with 3 singles in the game. Tazawa got the final out of the 7th out there to begin the 8th here against Evan Longoria. And Longoria with the base hit to left field opens up this bottom of the 8th inning. His second hit of the game.
At first hit a double going to the opposite field very deep, this time pulling a fastball from Tazawa. That ball away from him, but still trying to hook the ball and probably trying to leave the yard, but instead it's a line drive to left field.
Leadoff base hit for Longoria. Here is David DeJesus, who has fly to center, grounded to short, and last time up hit a sacrifice fly to right, pick up his 24th RBI of the year. Now a blip to center. Betts coming in to make the catch. Hung up long enough for Mookie to get in to make the grab. And Longoria back to the bag at first with now 1 out of the inning.
One thing Tampa Bay does not do, they do not sacrifice very much. And you wouldn't expect it, obviously, with your number 4 hitter up there. Although he's not your typical number 4 hitter. Swinging on the first pitch, and Mookie Betts tracks it down.
1 out, runner at first for Logan Forsythe. He's got 3 hits, 2 singles to center, 1 to left.
May expect something in this at bat with Forsythe up.
Throw to first, and Longoria crosses over to get back to the bag. And the dirt gets away from Swihart, and Longoria will take second base. So he does get into scoring position here on a pitch in the dirt.
And wild pitches tonight. I've heard the Red Sox, a run scored on a wild pitch back in the 6th inning. Now the potential go-ahead run gets into scoring position on a wild pitch. Swihart trying to block this ball as he should, but it caroms off him, and the base runner Longoria gets in a scoring position with 1 out.
1 out, Longoria in scoring position at second base, and Forsythe ahead 1-0. Takes the strike, and it's a ball and a strike. 93 on the fastball from Tazawa. In the dirt, blocked that time by Swihart. 2-1. Evan Longoria led off the inning with a single. The Jesus flied out to center. The wild pitch. Charge to Tazawa has Longoria at second base. And Steven Souza Jr. waiting on deck for the Rays. Ball 3-1.
Not a bad pitch at all there by Tazawa. Looked like it had the corner down at the knees. Not getting the strike call from Gorman, the home plate umpire.
Forsythe hits it on the ground to shortstop. Bogart's going to go to third, and out at third base is Longoria. They get the lead runner.
Bad play by Longoria, good play by Bogarts. Longoria figured because the ball was not hit that hard, he had a chance to get to third base, but Bogarts, without hesitation, makes that throw to Sandoval. They get the tag out, so that eliminates the potential go-ahead run from scoring position. That ball's to the right. That ball is to the right of Longoria, so he really should not be going on that. But I think the reason he did go because it was not hit hard. And Bogarts makes a spectacular play. It doesn't look like much, but very heads up. Here's the ball going in front of Longoria. Now, if it's to his left, I can understand it. To his right, no way.
So now 2 down. Forsythe at first base. They check on him, but he gets back to the bag safely.
Now, again, in my opinion, you have to give a strike to Forsythe to be able to steal because he can run also.
In there for strike 1.
Now he does give him a strike, and now it's now you're on your own, big guy. 14 home runs.
And Souza's now down 0-2, right at the bottom of the zone that time. Outside, it's 1-2. Zhao able to get the final out of the 7th inning, back out there for the 8th. Nobody warming in the Red Sox pen right now. Souza with a swing and a miss. Tazawa strikes him out. We head to the 9th, tied 3-3. 3 as we head to the 9th.
Yeah, all kind of stuff going on. Back in the second inning, De Aza going to the opposite field for a double on a dive by Kiermaier, who couldn't come up with it. Bradley gets a sacrifice fly right here to bring home the run. There's a single right down the first base line, and Forsythe's able to score for the Tampa Bay Rays in the 4th inning. A double steal by the Red Sox, perfectly executed as Napoli scores. I think that surprised the Rays. And then DeJesus with a sacrifice fly out of the right field. And then the wild pitch right there brings in a run for the Rays as Longoria crosses home plate. So kind of a low-scoring game, but a weird game here tonight.
Brad Boxberger into the game. 32nd appearance, 4-3. This is not a save situation. He's 19 out of 21, though, in save opportunities. Opponent sitting at 219 against Boxberger. Mike Napoli will take strike 1. Napoli walked 3 times in the game tonight. All that against Colomé, the starter, who walked 5 in 6 innings. Since the bullpen has been involved, and that's been Jepson, McGee, and now Boxberger, they've allowed only 1 hit. Ball and a strike to Napoli. Boxberger ranking 4th in the American League with 19 saves as Napoli fouls it off.
That time a changeup at 79 miles an hour from Boxberger.
To right center field and in for a hit for Napoli. Up over the glove of Boxberger, and the Red Sox have the lead runner on here in the 9th.
You know, a lot of times with 2 strikes, they'll move back from the complete shift. They don't do it this time, and it bites them. Napoli with 2 strikes on him goes up over the head of the pitcher. You can see they're still in the shift over there, and if they moved, that would have been a routine play for the second baseman, but they did not.
So Napoli on for the 4th time in this game.
What do you do here, Donnie? You have Diaz bunting. You're working toward the bottom of the lineup. I would
still have him bunting. Diaz doubled back in the 2nd. Since then, he's flied out twice for the 1st, and Napoli back to the bag. Diaz did not give away what he was doing if he was indeed bunting.
Yeah, I would do it. I would try to get Napoli to second base and take my chances with Swihart and Bradley.
Uehara and Breslow up in the pen. Diaz does not have a sacrifice this season. Popped up, foul ground, back comes Casali, but he couldn't get it.
Oh, was that dangerous there? That's a bad angle right there by Diaz. You're supposed to have the barrel of the bat above the baseball. The barrel of his bat was below the baseball, and that's why he pops it up. Fortunately for him, it goes far enough back where the catcher can't make a play, but not a good bunting position by Diaz on that one. Watch the barrel of the bat go under the ball. It's supposed to be on top of it.
Squaring again. And this time jumping back out of the way of a pitch down by his shoe top. Steven the count of 1-1. New set of sides here from Brian Butterfield. Lead runner on and Mike Napoli here in the top of the 9th inning. High for ball 2.
How do you switch off and go to a hit and run? 2 balls, 1 strike. It's a possibility.
Napoli gains his lead. Bunting again, and he offered at it for strike 2. So they tried the bunt again, and he couldn't get it done.
2 efforts here that were not real good.
Let's check with the umpire to see if that was a strike.
after that first bunt attempt. That's why I said that maybe the hit and run might be a better option.
Squaring again. Now pull it back and a swing and a miss, and he strikes out for the first out of the inning. Unable to get the job done.
You know, there are small things in close games like this that can really hurt you, and we've seen a lot of them tonight. One example right here, not being able to get the bunt down and get the man at second base. We've seen a couple of wild pitches where a run is scored, a man's got in the scoring position. We've seen some base running where Mookie Betts overran second base. We saw Longoria make a mistake at second base. Small things in a close game.
1 out, 1 on for Blake Swihart. Swihart grounded out to second base in the second. He singled to center in the fourth before flying out to the warning track in center field in the sixth inning. Fly ball center field. Kiermaier was deep, so he's got to come on hard, and he will make the running catch. Fires back towards first base. And that throw was off the mark, but Kiermaier covering a lot of ground out there. He was very deep in center. 2 down.
Look where he ends up. He ends up behind third base. Here comes Kiermaier, and it makes, I think, that makes sense to make that throw right there. I mean, he had no chance to get Napoli at first base, and only bad things can come out of a throw like that. Just now making his way back into center field. He was behind third base.
2 down, runner at first base for Jackie Bradley Jr. He'll take strike 1. Now tomorrow at 3:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. Adam Pellerin and Tim Wakefield will preview Chris Archer's start on Sunday. The 1 pitch is going to be a strike over the outside corner that has Bradley down 0-2. Napoli at first base, held on by Jake Elmore. 0-2. On the outside corner for strike 3, and Bradley didn't think it was a strike at all.
That wasn't a strike.
3-3 the score to the bottom of the 9th. Wade Miley versus Matt Andrus. Miley last start on Sunday at Kansas City went to 6 innings, giving up 5 hits, no runs. He struck out 2. This closer look brought to you by FW Web. Selection, expertise, solutions. More at FWWeb.com. 3-3 the score to the bottom of the 9th inning. Tampa Bay out hitting Boston 11-6. Craig Breslow, the new pitcher for Boston here in the 9th inning. As Drupal Cabrera leads it off for Tampa Bay. It's a ground ball down the line at third into the left field corner. Piazza racing over there as Cabrera heads for second base. Opens up the bottom of the 9th inning with a double.
Well, in my opinion, when you're in a situation like this, a ball cannot get down the line, whether it be first base line or third base line. You got to be protecting against the 2-base hit. And there's Sandoval protecting against the 2-base hit, but it still gets by him. He's close to the line, but still the ball bounces up over his glove, and a leadoff double for the Rays.
So as Drupal Cabrera with his 3rd hit of the night. Came in hitting at just .206, but 3 for 4 in this game. Now Jake Elmore, who pinch hit in the 7th inning for Mark Krause and grounded out to second. They're going to put him on intentionally. So the intentional walk here to Elmore. Breslow's 22nd appearance, 3.62 earned run average.
That's a little bit curious too, because you are working toward the bottom of the batting order, and I would guess that Casale will be bunting also, or they may just take 3 shots at getting a base hit.
Kurt Casale 1 for 3 in this game. The single to center in the 5th. First and second, nobody out. Casale squaring to bunt and pulling back, taking ball 1.
If you are expecting the bunt, which the Red Sox are, obviously a force play at third base becomes easier than a tag play. But the problem is it gets you back to the top of the lineup with a couple of men that, you know, have a chance to end this ball game. So we'll see how it works out.
Casale offered at that for a strike. He does not have a sacrifice bunt this season. Evens the count here, 1-1. Alexia Gondo up in the Boston pen. Already seen Lane, Tazawa, and Breslow out of that Boston pen for Rick Porcello. Casale squaring again, pulls it back, and there's ball 2. The pitch away. Again, crashing in from first base is Napoli.
Yeah, the ideal bunt in this situation is hard to third base to pull Sandoval off the bag. You got Napoli in so close, so you might be able to slap the ball by him.
Here he comes again on a 2-1 pitch. And a pop-up. Wow. It'll get back up over the screen. We've seen some bad bunt attempts.
I'll tell you what. We've seen some bad play in a close game. Same thing. Look at the barrel of the bat. I mean, this thing is down below the baseball. You can do nothing but pop the ball up.
Fortunate that he fouled it off. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Casale with a swing and a miss, and he strikes out. Big strikeout for Breslow. First out here in the 9th.
Well, Breslow gets 2 strikes. He goes to the breaking ball to pick up the strikeout. That was a very poor at bat by Casale.
2 on, 1 away. Kevin Kiermaier, the batter. He is struck out, grounded out to first, bounced into a double play, and last time up singled to center field. Ball 1. Breslow pitching yesterday against Baltimore. 2 scoreless innings. 1-0 pitch. On the ground towards second base. Holt will go to first and get the out there as the runners move into scoring position, second and third with now 2 down.
That's the only play Holt had. He had no chance to go anywhere else, so he goes to first base to get the out. Farrell coming out. He's going to go to the right-hander.
So it'll be Alexia Gondo coming into the game here for Boston. Breslow leaving, responsible for the 2 men on. Breslow ends up going 2/3 of an inning. 1 hit, the leadoff double by Asdrubal Cabrera. Sunday on a special Science and Tech edition of NESN Clubhouse, you'll learn about camera technology in the ballpark and Fenway jobs. Plus, we'll learn about the anatomy of a pop-up in the baseball lab. Tune in Sunday at 11:30 on NESN.
The anatomy of a pop-up?
That's what it said, yes.
I know the end result of a pop-up is an out.
Yeah.
I don't know about the anatomy of it.
We'll find out on Sunday.
Well, we saw a couple of pop-up bunts in this.
Yes, more than one. Alexia Gondo into his 31st game of the year, 1-0 with 3.13 earned run average. 22 strikeouts, 10 walks. Opponent sitting at 217 against Gondo. Through an inning and a third scoreless innings yesterday against Baltimore, and stranded the lone inherited runner in the 4th inning in relief of Eduardo Rodriguez, as he was in early in that game, as Rodriguez chased early from that game yesterday. Comes in a tough spot here, second and third, 2 down in the 9th, and a tie game. There's Asdrubal Cabrera with a leadoff double to begin this inning. He's at third base now. Attendance tonight 17,508, 17,508 for the first of 3.
This is back earlier in the ball game on the breaking ball that got by that allowed Longoria to score to tie this ball game. And now second and third with 2 outs, righty against righty.
Joey Butler 1 for 3 in this game with a walk. The one part is single in the 6th, and he scored a run. Butler fouls back to first pitch, a fastball that was up.
Well, he looks like he likes to chase that high fastball, doesn't he?
Yes, he likes to swing at the first pitch.
That ball's up about letter high, and he's all over it.
0 for 1 in his career against Gondo. Butler fouls it off to the right, and he's down 0-2. Breslow responsible for the runners on. No one cares about the runner at third. And Asdrubal Cabrera, potential game-winning run for Tampa Bay. 0-2 pitch. Butler fouls it off, stays alive.
Got away with one there. They wanted to elevate the fastball, see if he chased a high fastball. It was about belt high, and he fouls it off. See Swihart up in the crouch. He wants it high.
Not close away. Ball and 2 strikes. In the air to right. Bradley is there, but he can't. Oh, looked like he lost it in the lights there. He is there to make the catch. A battle there on a liner. He was battling the light bank, but he makes the grab, and we're tied 3-3 to the 10th we go. Jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Back at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Game tied up 3-3 to the 10th inning we go. Steve Geltz into the game here for the Rays. 34th appearance, 1-2. The 2.10 earned run average. 38 strikeouts, 12 walks. Opponent sitting at 132 against Geltz. As he works the 10th inning so far, the bullpen for the Rays has been very good. They've only given up 2 hits and worked 3 innings. Chebson, McGee, and Boxberger to this point. Mookie Betts will lead it off here in the top of the 10th inning. That's struck out, grounded out, fouled out. Last time up, reached on a fielder's choice. In there for strike 1 to Mookie Betts. Outfield very deep and straight away on Mookie Betts.
Talked about alignment of defense and prevent doubles. They're way off the line at first base, not expecting Betts to go in that direction, but Longoria right on the line at third.
Fouled back to the screen. Geltz ranks 8th among major league relievers. 130 opponent batting average against him. Betts will take another hack and foul it back. Still 1-2. Betts in the air down the left field line to Jesus on the run, is not going to get there, and it lands fair. Mookie's headed for second, and he will get there standing with a leadoff double here in the 10th inning.
I don't know how in the world Mookie Betts hit that baseball. That ball is way in on him. He's able somehow to keep it in fair territory, and there's no doubt it was going to be a double. They wanted to go away with a fastball. Look at that pitch. If he doesn't swing at that, that might hit him. and he keeps it in fair territory. And from that point there, it's going to be an easy two-base hit.
So Betts with a double to begin things here in the 10th. Xavier Cedeno and Brandon Gomes up for the Rays. So Koji getting ready in the Boston pen as Brock Holt stands in. And Holt will take strike one.
Maybe they're giving him one pitch to see if he can pull the ball. Let's see if they put the bunt on now with the count 0-1, or let Brock Holt swing away.
Potential go-ahead run in scoring position at second base with nobody out. This is the situation the Rays had in the bottom of the 9th. To left field for Holt. In comes DeJesus. It'll get in for a hit. Here comes Mookie Betts. Here comes the throw from DeJesus. It is cut off. Run scores. Now they got Holt hung up. They'll run Brock back towards second base. Ran out of the baseline. He'll be out. But the Red Sox get the go-ahead run to pull ahead now 4-3.
Well, they elect not to bunt, and they get the big prize. They get the run home. Brock Holt going to the opposite field with Betts' speed. There's no question he's going to score. And what Holt's doing at first base is he's trying to draw a cutoff on the throw because he wants to make sure Betts throws. But the ball's cut off, as you can see right there. And he's going to be out in the rundown, but that's okay. He wants that ball cut off. Now, there's no way they're going to throw out Betts, but Holt doesn't know that.
Now the Red Sox have the lead. Xander Bogaerts with a swing and a miss for strike one. Bogaerts with a base hit back in the 5th, a 1-for-4 night. Brock Holt to a tough series against Baltimore at home. But 0 for his last 15, and he gets a base hit there to drive in the go-ahead run. Now Bogaerts strikes out looking. Geltz made quick work of him for the second out of the inning. Two down for David Ortiz. And he's going into the shift that involves their third baseman Longoria coming to the right side.
I thought they'd go for the left-hander against Ortiz.
Foul back to the screen. Notice that Brock Holt was limping a little bit coming off the field after the rundown, and hopefully he is okay.
That's the last thing the Red Sox need is another injury right now. Seems to be all right in the dugout.
Did foul the ball off his foot earlier in the game, the ankle area. The 1 pitch to David Ortiz. Low for a ball, 1-1. Ortiz to right center field, now to get in for a hit. Kiermaier cuts it off, spins and fires it back into the infield. And Ortiz has a single with 2 down in the inning. Now Kevin Cash coming out.
I thought we'd see Kevin Cash before the Ortiz at bat, with Ortiz and Sandoval due up. Ortiz picks up the base hit here. Nice play by Kiermaier out in center field to get that ball back in and hold Ortiz to a single.
Pitching change from the Trop in St. Pete. Red Sox have pulled ahead 4-3. The schedule to your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar program by visiting NESN.com/schedule now. Lots of Red Sox Nation here in St. Pete for Game 1 of this 3-game series. Red Sox have pulled ahead 4-3 with 2 outs now in the 10th inning. And the new pitcher is Xavier Cedeno. Started the year with Washington, now here with the Rays. 27th appearance here with Tampa Bay. 1-0 with a 2.76 ERA. Opponent's hitting at .299 against Cedeno. Pablo Sandoval sending one back up the middle into center field, a base hit. On the first pitch he sees, David Ortiz will take second base. And the Red Sox have 2 on with 2 outs now here in the 10th.
Well, Sandoval didn't wait around very long. He jumps on the first pitch and takes it up the middle for the base hit. Out comes Kevin Cash again to make another pitching change. Breaking ball up the middle. You know, I'm looking at the Red Sox bench and I'm saying, would you pinch run for David Ortiz? But on the bench, you got Ramirez.
No. Go ahead. Who else you got?
Oh, Marrero.
You could pinch run Devin Marrero.
Exactly. You got Shaw and Leon, who you wouldn't want to use, obviously.
No. But Devin Marrero would be a consideration.
That would be a consideration at second base right now.
Now it's time for tonight's T-Mobile game changer performance, and it is Brock Holt's base hit that scores Mookie Betts from second base and puts the Red Sox on top 4-3 here in the 10th inning.
I hope I explained that clearly too. We all knew Betts was going to score. There's no question about that. But Holt's not sure because the play is behind him. So what he wants to do is round first base and make that man at third base cut off the baseball. If he doesn't cut it off, he's going to be at second anyway. But he wants to make sure he cuts it off to make sure that run scores. Sometimes, you know, you're not quite sure and you can't see behind you how close the play is going to be. So Holt, in my opinion, does the right thing by going to second base. Now he knows he's trapped. He's going to get tagged out eventually or go out of the baseline eventually. But this is a one-run game in extra innings. I mean, you got to make sure that run scores, be 100%, and he was.
Now Kirby Yates, the new pitcher now for Tampa Bay. 5th appearance without a record of 4.15 earned run average. 5 strikeouts, no walks, and opponents sitting at .350 against Yates. Called up on Tuesday from AAA Durham. Marks his second stint of the year with Tampa Bay. He was on the opening day roster to begin the year and stayed here until June 9th before going back down again to Durham. Spent time on the DL. Strained right oblique for him earlier this year. Takes over for Xavier Cedeno, who ends up throwing one pitch and giving up a base hit. Visit NESN's YouTube page to see all sorts of stories come alive in video. Visit youtube.com/NESN today. Here's Mike Napoli with runners at first and second and 2 down. Napoli will take strike one. Mike's been on base 4 times tonight, 3 walks and a single. He has scored 2 runs. Strike 2. Into that outside corner for Kirby Yates. David Ortiz at second. Pablo Sandoval at first. Ball and 2 strikes. Napoli will take the pitch low, and it is 2-2.
Now Yates was headed to the dugout. He thought he had strike 3, and it was a very close pitch. Right at the bottom of the strike zone, away from Napoli.
Strike 3 called this time, and that one's not a strike.
Now, that's what gets you upset. The fact that, the first time it's not called a strike, then you get a pitch that's a little bit more outside, and it is called a strike. I mean, that's terrible.
The Red Sox take a 4-3 lead to the bottom of the 10th.
Red Sox have the 4-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 10th. We'll take a look at that last pitch to Napoli. Now look at pitch number 4 where that is. That was not called a strike. Then they go farther outside, and this one is called a strike. And that's what gets you upset. Be consistent. And certainly no consistency right there.
So Koji Uehara into the game for the Red Sox to try to grab the save here with the Red Sox on top 4-3 in the bottom of the 10th inning. Evan Longoria 2 for 4 in the ball game. As Koji's first pitch in there for a strike, and that appeared to be outside. He's got Evan Longoria shaking his head. 28th appearance, 2-3 with a 3.38 earned run average, 14 out of 16 in save opportunities. High for ball 1. 2 for 10 with 11, or 2 for 20 rather, with 11 strikeouts for Longoria against Uehara. Take strike 2.
Fastball to the outside corner. Back-to-back fastballs, one high, one outside corner.
Uehara threw a perfect ninth inning on Wednesday against Baltimore, as Longoria strikes out for the 12th time in his career against Uehara for the first out of the 10th inning.
Well, he wanted to keep that splitter away from him, didn't he? And he did. You can see how far outside Swihart is set up, and that's exactly where the split finger fastball goes. Longoria chases a bad pitch.
One down for David DeJesus, 0 for 3 with a sac fly in the game. 1 for 3 against Uehara. Got a triple for the one part of that 1 for 3. And a swing and a miss. Tardy on that fastball at 88. All the runs the Rays have charged to the starter Rick Porcello. Lane, Tazawa, Breslow, Agondo. No runs allowed out of the pen tonight. Foul back. Bat goes flying over by the on deck circle. 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Koji's got the first 2 outs of the 10th on back-to-back Ks.
Yeah, it's almost like DeJesus was up there looking for a split of that hole at bat and got fastballs from Uehara. They elevate up and away. Swihart up in the zone, exactly where the pitch goes, and a very late swing by DeJesus.
2 down in the 10th inning. Here is Logan Forsythe. 3 hits in the game, all singles. 2 to center, 1 to left. And a swing and a miss. So after all the fastballs to DeJesus, he starts Forsythe with the splitter. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
Well, that's 2 bad swings on a splitter in and a splitter away. They're like half swings.
Red Sox fans standing in St. Pete. The 0-2 pitch on the ground is short. Bogarts plays the high hop. Throw to first, and the Red Sox win. Koji Uehara on to get the save, his 15th, as the Red Sox enjoy a 1-2-3 bottom of the 10th inning and enjoy a victory against the first place Tampa Bay Rays tonight, as the Red Sox come in 10 innings.